Hey crew, I've got the key to that 22 Audi RS5 Sportback. We are going to take it for a drive, but first let's check out how it looks on the inside and outside. Up front, this model has the black optic package, so the Audi grille is blacked out. We also have the 4 Audi rings blacked out on this model. Audi's LED matrix headlights with laser light technology are here with sequential turn signals as well. There's functional ventilation there and at the very edges. This one is painted in Navara blue metallic, which looks good now, but when the sun hits it, it dazzles. In profile, black optic package gives us a set of 20-inch wheels in this two-tone design, wrapped up in Continental Sport Contact 275 section tires, front and rear. Inside are 13.5-inch ventilated front rotors. There are blacked out mirror caps to match the black window trim. Stepping back to look at the profile, the RS5 Sportback is so clean. Steeply downturned nose, gentle tapering roofline, large sharp wheels. I love it. Quick shout out to OC Dream Rentals who are letting me review their RS5 Sportbacks. If you like this vehicle, you could actually rent it from them. I'll put all their info in the description. At the back, there's a subtle black lip spoiler, more LED taillights with more sequential turn signals, prominent blacked out diffuser with dual oval exhaust ports. Down low from the rear, you would not be able to tell the Sportback from the coupe, and I love that. The body style is sleek. It's just got that hint of flex. Now let's look at the interior. Opening up and looking inside, this black Nappa leather interior with gray contrast stitching in this quilted pattern. These rear seats are heated. There's injection molding up high, and then we move into suede, gloss carbon fiber trim, leather for the armrests, one-touch up-down windows, injection molding down low. A Bang & Olufsen 3D sound system is standard. Getting inside, watch your head, taller folks. Behind my own seat at 6 feet tall, we can see I've got knee room. The foot pockets are large. Thigh support would be good, except my knees are pitched up at a bit of an angle. Headroom, not so great. Head is pressed against the roof, so I can't get back to that headrest. If I slouch forward, then it's workable. It's not terrible. There are 2 air vents, a third zone of climate at standard, 2 USB-A ports, and a DC outlet. That drive shaft hump is large, so it's harder to get into the middle seat, so it's probably just going to be a 2-passenger setup back here. We do have some storage in the console and 2 cup holders that fold forward like that. So I'm going to say these back seats are going to be good for smaller to mid-size adults. Let's check out the front. Gotta love those frameless windows. Let's hear the door close. Nice thud. Up front, we've got RS style bucket seats with heating, massage, and power adjustments. Aluminum foot pedals, aluminum illuminated RS5 tread plate, more gloss carbon fiber and suede and leather, a knurled adjuster for your power folding and power adjusting door mirrors. Your trunk release button is here. And inside the hatch style opening, which has more versatility than a traditional trunk, we find 9.3 cubic feet of space, and you can 40-20-40 split fold those rear seats. There is a spare donut under the floor, and then a power close and lock feature here on the hatch. Sliding in. Drivers get this perforated leather wrap wheel that is just an excellent size and thickness. Got the RS badge down low, aluminum paddles in the back of the wheel. Audi's virtual cockpit system is here, has quite a bit of reconfiguration. There's a head-up display with the driving assistance package, injection molding up on the dashboard. Wish this was leather or leatherette at least. There's a 10.1-inch touchscreen infotainment that's quick to respond, has this capacitive touch, and you can hear that audio click. There's wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. There's more gloss carbon fiber on the dashboard with a Quattro badge on the passenger side, dual zone auto climate, drive mode selection, USB-A and DC outlet there, in addition to wireless smartphone charging and a USB-C port. Not much storage in this console. The armrest on top does slide forward. There's a key slot, physical volume knob, and tuner, perforated leather wrapping for the gear selection. Don't love all this high gloss black because it smudges and scratches and collects dust. Visibility, is quite good, and you do have standard blind spot monitoring with rear cross traffic. Get this large sunroof as standard as well. The materials in this cabin are excellent. The layout's nice. I like the gloss carbon fiber, the virtual cockpit. We need to take the RS5 Sportback for a drive, though. All right, let's fire it up. Little rumble from that twin turbo V6. We're going to start out in, let's see here, auto drive mode. Your daily driving mode. It adapts to your driving behavior. And then we will press forward to go into reverse. Brings up a high resolution backup camera. You got your bird's eye view there. Lots of additional angles to choose from. And let's back on out. You also have the parking assistance package here. It'll parallel and perpendicular park for you. Back down into drive. Turning radius test to start things off. It's good. I'm going to say it's probably no better than the BMW M3. Suspension a little firm over those initial bumps. Out of the turn signal sound. Rather traditional. World famous horn test. Are you ready for it? It's good. It's a good horn. I love these reviews. So much insight. Let's talk about the powertrain. Twin turbocharged, 2.9 liter V6. Makes 444 horsepower and 443 pound-feet of torque. Best used behind a bus. I'm kidding. It's connected to an 8-speed automatic gearbox, and of course, you got your Quattro badge right there. It's sending power to all 4 tires. The RS5 Sportback is riding on an adaptive damper set. And in auto mode, it's going to be among the more comfortable settings. But that doesn't mean the ride is plush. As we felt over those initial bumps, it is fairly firm. You do feel the hard impacts. I'm not going to say this is any rougher a ride than the M3 Competition, which I also felt was very firm. But it could become taxing if you're doing this every day. Brakes are easy to modulate, easy to come down to a stop gradually, and then we'll see about the throttle getting away from a stop. You can feel those gear changes, at least for the first couple, and then it smooths on out. The power itself, very progressive. And there's another set of bumps. You do get jostled about quite a bit. The engine note is quiet, to say the least, in auto mode. It is a dual stage exhaust system, so I imagine when we get into RS we'll hear more of it, but I miss the V8 in the RS products. I have a feeling I won't miss it quite as much when we do a 0 to 60 test, so let's get to that. In preparation for that test, I've got my race box set up here. I'm going to hit the RS button, and then I'm going to press the traction control button just once to put us into sport traction. I will then wait for the light to go green, holding my foot hard on the brake and pinning the throttle. Then I'll release the brake. We'll feel that full force through the Quattro all-wheel drive system. We ready? Here goes. hole. 3.6. Oh my gosh, Quattro all-wheel drive, so good. Out of a hole. Just gone. 3.6 is quick. Very quick. Not as quick as the M4 Competition X Drive I did with 3.1 seconds, and not as 3.1 seconds, and not as quick as Audi quotes for the RS5 Sportback. They say 3.3. I believe it. But that was a lot of fun. And while we're just hanging out in RS mode, let's also try out manual shifting. So pull the gear selector over, play with the paddles. Don't have a lot of actuation. They do feel good in the hands. Not very large either. I do want more from that exhaust system. Even in RS. The sound is sweet, but it's not loud enough. Ooh, I do like the downshifts. Shifts are quick. Little thump on the upshift. Little overrun on the downshift. Yeah, this car is quite peppy. It doesn't sound it, but it feels it from the G-force. Now full force braking test from 60. Oh, that felt good. No nosedive, no squirrel, confident pedal, stayed resistant, and we stopped in a very short distance. Now this is all just a tease of performance because we need to see how the RS5 Sportback does in a more canyon-y setting. So let's get to that. But before we do that, I do need to correct myself because I thought this vehicle had the dynamic package, but then I remembered that it doesn't have the red calipers, which is an indicator of that. And so all the things I said about the adaptive dampers are not true. Those come with the dynamic package. Without those, we've got fixed dampers. And so even by going into the comfort drive mode, it's not going to change the ride quality. And I do remember that an RS5 Sportback I drove with those adaptive dampers had slightly better ride quality. It wasn't a game changer, but it was a bit better. We can now see, though, how those fixed dampers translate to handling behavior. So we'll go back into RS and have some fun. We're going to start with some twisty stuff. Once again in sport traction. Goodness, the power out of a corner is immense. Got that limited slip differential in the rear to shore up any would-be power loss from a wheel without traction. Turn-in is immediate. Stability from that Quattro all-wheel drive. And I'm not sensing a tendency to understeer, at least how I'm prodding it right now. Hard braking on the downhill. Those hold up superbly well. Steering feel is light, but it does talk to you. Another thing you get with that dynamic package that we don't have here is the variable ratio steering, but I honestly think I prefer the fixed ratio rack. It's dialed in very nicely. More praise goes to this gearbox, which keeps you in the thick of the power and torque in RS mode. So you don't feel like you have to go into manual mode if you don't want to. But let's just say I do want to go into manual mode. Well, then I can string it all the way out to that 7,000 RPM red line. For ultimate pace. This is a good gearbox. promptness of these shifts. And the sheer velocity. Keep doggy. All right, let's cool it on off. Back to auto drive mode. That's dynamic. Auto, there it is. Put traction back on fully. And let's talk pricing and competition for this 22 RS5 Sportback. The starting figure, $77,295. This one, as tested, is $85,000. The fuel economy, I have yet to mention, it's 18 city, 25 highway, and 21 combined. That is segment leading. Top speed, limited to 155 miles per hour. And now competitors. 3 come to mind. We've got the Cadillac CT4V Blackwing. That one is the least expensive of the segment at $60,000. It's the only one offered with a manual gearbox. It's also only offered in rear drive. It makes 472 horsepower, gets to 60 in 3.9 seconds, and the fuel economy is 18 combined. Then there's the BMW M3 Competition xDrive. That one's $77,000 to start. It makes 503 horsepower, gets to 60 in 3.7 seconds, 3.8 they say. I've seen it a lot quicker than that. The fuel economy is 19 combined, and the top speed is 181 miles per hour. Then we have the Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio. That one is the most expensive at $80,000 to start. It makes 505 horsepower, gets to 60 in 3.6 seconds, and the fuel economy is 20 combined. Of those, the best ride quality and the fact that it has a manual transmission and the starting figure make the CT4V Blackwing very attractive, but it is small in this segment, and it just doesn't make the same power or have the same 0 to 60 performance as the other vehicles I mentioned. The Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio, that one has the best steering by far. Just, you get so much out of that rack. I also love the gearbox, the giant paddles in the back of the wheel. It's a lot of fun. The M3 Competition is, in my opinion, the most well-rounded. The price is right there. The power is awesome. The 0 to 60 performance is great. The steering feel is solid. The chassis is well under control. I definitely put the aftermarket grill insert in it, if it's just me. The Audi RS5 Sportback is top 2 for me. I'm going to say M3 just above RS5 Sportback, if only just because this vehicle doesn't quite have the same engagement level as that M3, but I do think it looks better. So, if this styling is more your cup of tea, do not feel bad. Don't feel like you're missing out too much on that M3 Competition. But if you can put it up with a face, that car, that M3, is so good. I hope you guys have enjoyed this POV drive review. If you did, please like, comment, and share the video. Subscribe to the channel, hit that bell to get notified, and I will see you again next time. Downshifts, downshifts, downshifts. While I'm thinking of it, at speed, this cabin is very well insulated. That's not how you pass a person. Cyclist, motorcyclist. There we go. And I'll see you next time.